Hey everybody, what is going on? I am Maximus Rex and this is Big Baby Reviews. Today's Tuesday, it is JAE LEE Day, so we're looking at his next issue for Rob Liefeld's Extreme Studios at Image Comics, and that is YOUNGBLOOD STRIKEFILE, issue number 2, cover dated July 1993. If you're interested in the Rob Liefeld side of this comic, it is a flip book. I've already done those reviews a few months ago, and you can check those out under YOUNGBLOOD STRIKEFILE Rob Liefeld in the archives on my channel. So what we've come to expect from JAE LEE is definitely on this cover here. So we've got the hulking musculature, right? The Simon Bisley-esque kind of finish. A little bit of Bill Sienkiewicz thrown in there. The elongated forearm with the small wrist, right? All kind of staples of JAE LEE's male musculature, the smaller legs. And he's using just full silhouette for that because it doesn't take as long to draw, basically. And it's a good choice aesthetically as well as time-wise. And hinting at some of the storyline within this character, I assume there's enough of costume details or facial details that I recognize him as Geiger from last issue. So I guess it's a hint of what we're going to see in this issue. And of course, no background, which is consistently has been happening with JAE LEE already on YOUNGBLOOD STRIKEFILE number 1 on those 3 issues of Spider-Man that I reviewed, and a little less Namor. There were a lot of shots with no backgrounds, but there were still some background shots and establishing shots here and there. So once again, this is a split book. So last issue was 12 pages of JAE LEE. I'm kind of disappointed to say this might be a shorter review again, just because this issue, I counted, there's actually not 12 pages. There's only 10 pages of contribution from JAE LEE in this one. So not quite sure what was going on there. Hopefully in issue 3, we get a lot of pages, at least 12, maybe more. If not, if we get another 10, that means, you know, basically JAE LEE did a 32-page Chapel story for YOUNGBLOOD STRIKEFILE, which is basically almost like just one issue. Anyways, let's have a look inside and get this one started. So the creator and the plot, the creator is Rob Liefeld and the plot is from him as well. Pencils and inks, JAE LEE. Script, Eric Stevenson. Color designs and separation, Steve Olive. And all the optics, lettering, Kurt Hathaway. So it starts off kind of like a little bit like YOUNGBLOOD number 1 in a weird way, where Chapel once again is entertaining a lady. Kind of reminiscent. I just did the Savage Dragon review. When was that? For just this past Saturday. And again, dragons was that a thing in Image Comics in the 90s? Is it just Chapel and Savage Dragon, or did any other characters kind of have that kind of vibe in their comics, right? The ultimate male fantasy, obviously. You know, Chapel, YOUNGBLOOD, the whole concept of them being like superstars. It's almost like he's like you would compare it to an NBA star or a football star. So I guess, you know, that kind of stuff is definitely possible when you're at that level. So again, Chapel's got a beautiful woman here with him, and of course, these characters here are up to no good and will come and mess what kind of fun activity is going on here. Just want to read some of this because I gotta say the dialogue is just horrible on this. Sometimes even I can't believe how lucky I am to be part of the whole YOUNGBLOOD thing. So that's fine. We're getting a little bit of characterization from Chapel, at least a little bit. For all the garbage we got to put up with, there's just as many times when all of it just seems like one big party. Wine, women, more women, right? So we see where Chapel's mind is at. Yeah, sometimes I just can't believe my luck. So they're doing a little bit of a Alan Moore thing where, you know, subvert expectations. He's feeling lucky, and of course, we're going to find out that he's not very lucky right now. Well, he is, in the sense that you know, the girl eats all the bullets, basically, and Chapel is unscathed. She's dead. She's got the bullet wounds right here, and Chapel's not too happy about it. Still got his chains, though. That's funny. He was not taking off his chains to bed this lady. But other than that, he's naked, as we'll see on the next page. But I just quickly want to mention this cool splash. Nice to see, again, those demonic, cybernetic creatures that JAE LEE designs, which I've mentioned last time. Do remind me quite a bit of some of the stuff that Nick Manabat was doing on Cybernary. There's definitely some connective tissue in the art style there and the designs. A little bit of Geiger mixed in there, right? I think both of them probably have that influence. I don't know who's looking at who here, but there's a similarity to me. And I mean, he's not jumping through a window in this way. They're coming through the skylight, but to have all these fragments of window does take a lot of time to draw these little triangles. I got to say, I did that twice in my own Big Baby series, and I mean, I'm glad with how the results came out and the illustration came out, but this is very time consuming. As messy as this kind of looks, it probably took a lot of time, more so than some of the panels that JAE LEE draws. We're getting a little bit of backgrounds here, so I'll point that out for sure, because that's pretty rare. Even though, you know, I would assume that Youngblood's taking place in the United States, maybe in Washington, maybe in New York. I don't know. It looks more like we're in Italy over here with these buildings. I figured JAE Lee is just drawing the type of architecture and buildings that he's interested in rather than trying to be accurate, which is fine. And I like all these effects, honestly, just the chaos of it, the splatter, the dark sky, and the extra little bits that he adds here, like kind of lightning, I don't know exactly what you call that, effect lines with the white medium. Always great to see. All of this stuff here, even though it's colored orange, I can guarantee you that's white medium that he added after. Working a lot with silhouettes in black and then throwing in some white areas just to highlight stuff. I like this, the kind of part of the head and then the arm over here draped over the bricks here. I think that's pretty cool. So almost a double page splash. Here we get a bit of story and storytelling here where the cybernetic demon head, basically a message from Geiger telling Chapel that he wants to meet with him. Of course, the head is going to self-destruct, right? So he throws it away. Poof. I like this whole panel here. The dead girl in the foreground, the silhouette of Chapel in the middle ground, the brick wall, and then the explosion, and just a hint of building and background right here. This just panel here is just very evocative and cool to me. Very cool. Clever use of all that space. All right, now we got a kick-ass shot of Chapel, nice big poster style. He's got the knife, he's got the gun, he's got the face paint, he's pissed off. We got the splattered kind of demonic background that JAE Lee does pretty much everywhere. It's not raining, but there is some lightning. And where are we? Well, yeah, we are in Washington because we got, you know, just that whited out silhouette of the Washington Monument. What a way to set a scene where it's like, you know, if you know a little bit about geography, you know this is more than likely Washington, but man, just such a minimalist background. But at that point in time, you know, Image is paying lots of dollars for pages, and they don't really care about the backgrounds. They just want exciting looking pages that people are going to want to look at, and JAE Lee is definitely delivering with that. So Geiger teleports in with two of his cyber demon guys. Their designs are getting simpler and simpler for a reason. Maybe deadline issues. I don't know. Again, I don't remember if this is a JAE Lee design or a Rob Liefeld design for Geiger, so I'm kind of confused as to, you know, what exactly is that going on? What's going on there? I've mentioned it, I think, last review. Is it, you know, JAE Lee interpreting Rob Liefeld's design, or did Rob Liefeld use JAE Lee's design later? If anyone has any answers to that, let me know. This definitely have kind of a, he's got the Image, you know, villain kind of look, right? With lots of shoulder pads, sometimes capes and cybernetic elements, and, you know, very elaborate armor. But also, you know, looks a little bit like Apocalypse here. That's kind of who he reminds me of. And of course, you know, Apocalypse kind of fits that mold as well. Apocalypse could almost be kind of a 90s Image villain with a little more accoutrements. But also maybe I feel like Apocalypse inspired a little bit of Strife, which is definitely the character I feel like who brought on a lot of these copycat kind of 90s villains with huge armor and stuff. Strife was probably the first and the best. You know, I still really think that design is really cool, but then all the copycats after, not so cool. So Chapel's just kind of, you know, listen to Geiger. Sorry, she gave you some story points. Basically, what's going on here is Geiger's like, oh, so I found out that Jason Wynn wants to hire you to kill me. Well, he's like, I want to hire you to kill him. So, you know, not very original. We've heard this plotline before in every kind of cheesy 80s action movies that are out there. It's a pretty common trope. Maybe not in every movie, but in a lot of them. And Chapel refuses, but then all of a sudden he's down for it. It's kind of weird. So Geiger's kind of goading him in, right? Now you're telling me you won't kill a man easily as evil as myself? What happened, Chapel? Did all the killing finally get to you? That's it, Geiger. You've had it. So all of a sudden he just turns on a dime and decides to actually kill him. I'll see you in hell, Geiger. And then, you know, we got the cool shot of him blowing his head off once again. Very kind of, you know, it's not a literal kind of interpretation of how someone gets shot in the head. Maybe that's what I should have said last review for the character getting shot in the head. There's a lot of shooting in the head in this Youngblood Strikefile story, but he finds a very kind of artistic, symbolic, abstract way of, you know, having someone's head explode or something. That's quite different from other artists, right? The most popular one that's out there, especially for Image Comics, I reviewed it last year. It's that issue where Chapel actually blows his own head off. That one I feel is a more literal representation of that, in as far as like what's flying out the back and the brain matter and all that stuff, although still very artistic to a certain extent. You can go check out that review. I think that's Youngblood number 10, if I'm not mistaken. It's in the archives. But yeah, Lee just has more of a symbolic way of representing it, not necessarily literally and gorily showing someone's head get blown open. And then this is kind of a funny one because we see what's kind of left over. And even though he shot him in the head, I guess with all these bullet casings, I guess they're implying blam, blam, blam. He shot him at least 3 times, right? A bunch of times. So there's just a rib cage left over here. So a lot of, he was shooting for a while there, and there's a lot of overkill if there's no meat left on those bones. And he's still laughing. And even though he got shot through the head, there's still maybe a voice box or something that's coming out. Did you truly think I'd be foolish enough to come in person? I'd watch my back if I were you, Chapel. This isn't over yet. So kind of like the Nick Fury body doubles. I guess he sent like a cybernetic body double of himself. Like the Doom bots, right? Dr. Doom has that as well. And that's basically how the story ends. Like I said, it's a pretty short one. It's only 10 pages. So guess I'll have to leave it at that for today. And next week I'll be reviewing part 3 and the last part of this Youngblood Strikefile storyline featuring Chapel, Al Simmons, and drawn by JAE LEE. So there you go, guys. If you are still subscribed and you're watching, thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. If you're watching but you're not subscribed, please do so below. It only takes a quick second for you. It really helps the channel out, helps us grow. We're on the road to hitting 500 subscribers. We're pretty darn close. We're past 450. Once we hit 500, YouTube actually accepts us as an official channel and starts helping us a little bit with the algorithm and getting us out there to other people who might be interested in my channel or comic books generally. So everyone out there, thank you so much for watching. Get your friends to watch as well, and have an awesome day.
Like, subscribe, like, subscribe.
King Comics presents Big Baby, Volume 1, Issues 1 to 13, 204 pages of story and art. King Comics also presents Star Crasher one-shot, 32 pages, cosmic sci-fi surrealist adventure. You can find these fine comics at kingcomics.ca, at MaximusRex13 on Instagram, or on Facebook, MaxRex or Big Baby.